And our second signing is Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and this guy I'm really excited about. We've brought in James Wilson from Manchester United on loan, a player I really like in Football Manager. Adam Armstrong, his report says he's League 2, but I completely disagree. Out wide to Haidara, who's bursting forward from the fullback position. Can he find the cross? Into Joselu, and it's a goal. Come on. And as it stands, we are up to 6th, making a massive push for European football. And Mankio's having to start on that right-hand side because Yedlin's injured, whilst Mitrovic picks up a goal again. 2-0. We've come to Wembley and we're absolutely running rampant on Tottenham so far. And it is full time here. Leroy Sané, 1 minute in, gets the goal. We're really not doing very well against the big teams this season, and they're going to show their quality. 3.5 minutes in, again, 2-0. This looks like any hope of anything today is pretty much gone early on. Hopefully we can pull a couple of goals back with Gale into Armstrong, and he scores. Get in. And now Yedlin on the right hand side to Gale. Now Niles cuts inside across to Santon, and it's 2-2. Niles again with a big part in the goal, and Yedlin plays through. Dwight Gale, can he get the ball into Armstrong? Adam Armstrong, come on, it's 3-2. Adam Armstrong's second goal of the game. 10 seconds left. Can we hang on? Sane gives it away to Clark, and it looks like that's going to be the last opportunity for Man City. And Armstrong holds the ball up well, plays it out wide to Yedlin, but it's over. And we've managed to get the 3 points here today against Manchester City. And Everton have dropped off even more. It should see us secure European football with a point today. And we're going to start Maitland-Niles once again. And up front, we're going to go with Adam Armstrong, James Wilson on the bench, ready to hopefully get us some goals late on if we need them. The penalty has been awarded. Oh no. And can Tottenham go 1-0 up? And they have. But Wilson's through though. Can James Wilson get a goal? And he has. Get in. He equalises. Assisted by Ainsley Maitland-Niles and links up with another youngster, James Wilson. And that probably was our last opportunity unless we can come up with something here. Now Niles to Shelvey to Ariosi Perez. Shelvey shoots. Oh, what a save by Lloris. James Wilson with his second goal for the club grabs us what is a vital equaliser. And Liverpool are beating Tottenham 3-0 already, and they've just got one back, but it looks like Tottenham are slipping up right now. So a point today would see us get 6th place. This is mental. Perez through to Armstrong again, and Wilson cretin, and they've won it straight back with Schneidlin back out to Balassi. They're working that right hand side and it's in. Oh no, if we lose we end up 7th as well, so we need a point. Now Yedlin on the right hand side, can he get the cross into Wilson and get in? It's all over. And the two Liverpool teams deciding our fate there. And here we go, Newcastle qualify for the Europa League. All the lads and lasses there, they are the silent faces, getting along the Scots from to see the blatant racing. Hello and welcome back to Curb FM and another episode of the Newcastle Takeover on Football Manager 2018. And today I'm just going to do a small squad/season review just to see how we've done this year and what we're going to do going into the future of the series. So we managed to get ourselves 6th and securing ourselves a position in the group stage of the Europa League next year, which is massive. We managed to scrape ahead of Tottenham on the last day of the season. And if you haven't seen that yet, make sure you go back and have a watch. Let's go over who's been the best performers, who we're going to look to move on, and who we will be possibly signing. And let's have a look at some of the youngsters in the under-23s as well. So in terms of average rating, our best player has actually been James Wilson, who we've had on loan from Manchester United. And he's now agreed a permanent deal. We had a clause in the contract to sign him for 2.5 million at any stage, and we've triggered that. His value has gone up quite a bit to 8 million now, so that is an absolute bargain for us. And hopefully he can continue to grow in the future. He's only made 11 appearances, 5 of them being starts towards the end of the season, and yeah, he got himself 6 goals and was a key part in securing European football towards the end of the season. And he scored quite a few goals in the last episode. Second on average rating, maybe the most consistent player throughout the season, Stefano Sturaro, the signing from Juventus. We picked him up for 6.5 million. He's now worth 18.75 million. And he has been solid throughout the season. He's got fantastic ball-winning midfielder stats. He can tackle, he can mark. He's got good teamwork, good work rate, great strength, great stamina. So yeah, he's absolutely solid in the middle of the park. And he's been probably our best player throughout the season. And then we've got DeAndre Yedlin in third place. Maybe a surprising one, but I did have faith in him at the start of the season. And he's done exactly what I wanted him to do. And that's bomb up and down the right-hand side, using his pace to get into the attacks and to get back whilst defending. And he's done his job perfectly, and he's averaged a 7.14 and earned himself a place in the USA squad in the World Cup this summer. So good luck to him, and hopefully Yedlin can put in some good performances in Russia. And then we've got Joselu, who has got himself 9 goals in 26 games, averaging a 7, and someone that was really pushed out towards the end of the season for younger options. We brought in James Wilson on loan in January, and Adam Armstrong came back on loan from Bolton. And yeah, there wasn't really any room for Joselu, but he had played well in that first half of the season, and of course he was a key part early on. But someone perhaps that's going to be leaving, we've put him on the transfer list, and there's a couple of teams interested. But yeah, I'll go over who's going to be leaving the club soon. Isaac Hayden surprised me this year. I didn't really think he'd do too great. He came in for Sturaro at one point when Sturaro was suspended, and he managed to earn himself a lot of starts over the season in general, and he's been very good with a 7.07. Davide Santon returns to the club in January. He's made himself 10 starts and averaged a 6.96, which could have been higher had he not had the poor start that he did. Manquillo has had a good season. Lejean, Marino, Perez, all with good ratings. We've got Mitrovic, who wants to leave on loan, and so we might have to look at loaning him out, and hopefully he can improve and maybe make a push for first team when he comes back. But as I say, there's not a lot of room in the striking department as it stands. Our new number one, Mattia Perrin, has had a good season, averaging a 6.87, which is solid for a goalkeeper. He has conceded 54 goals though, but that hasn't been helped by the lack of quality in the defence, which is something hopefully we can sort out this summer. But he will remain our number one for now. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, a breakthrough transfer from Arsenal, wasn't really expected to start as many games as he did, but eventually made 13 starts and 11 appearances off the bench, averaging a 6.89. And for a youngster at the age of 20, he has pushed out John Joe Shelby, and now John Joe sits on the bench whilst Niles has been absolutely killing it. And speaking of John Joe, I think we're going to keep him round just because he is a team leader in the squad and he can give us some quality and depth whilst we have a European campaign. So we're going to need as many players as we can have. Haidar has had a decent season with 11 starts, averaging a 6.85, but someone we're probably going to be moving on. Carl Darlow hasn't really appeared much. He's made 4 league appearances, but yeah, someone that has requested to leave as well, and he's going to be leaving this summer. Mbemba making 32 appearances with a 6.85. The worst person in the team has been Sean Longstaff, a youngster that I wanted to give some match time just because of his potential, but I think I'm going to loan him out this year and give him a chance to really develop as a starter in a good team, potentially in the Championship. That's at least where I want him to go. But we'll see who's interested first. And in terms of players that will be leaving, we're going to be selling Mohamed Diame, just someone that hasn't really started, and he's on 45 grand a week. So yeah, we're going to look to move him on and hopefully put that wage budget somewhere else. As I say, Carl Darlow wants to leave, so we're going to try and give him his wish. Joselu, good player, he's played well, but there's no room for him now. We've got Wilson, Gale and Armstrong in the club. But he may potentially stay, depending on if we sign a 4th striker, because I do want 4. It does depend on what Mitrovic wants to do though. If he really wants to go out on loan, we'll loan him out, and then we may keep Joselu, but we will see how that goes. Florian Lejeune, no room for him really, because I want to bring in another centre-back to start alongside Lascelles. And Haidara, again, leaving the club. I want to sign a starting left-back with Santon as the backup, which leaves no room for Haidara. And speaking of left-backs and centre-backs that I'm looking to sign, first I want to sign Ryan Bertrand from Southampton. He's going to cost about 15 million, I think, and an English player, so that should help in case Brexit is harsh, but we'll see how that goes as well. But yeah, Ryan Bertrand hopefully is going to be joining the club in the near future. And speaking of English players, another player that I'm looking at signing is Callum Chambers from Arsenal. They haven't been giving him any games, and he is a good player in this game. I'm still waiting for a report, so I'm going to make that decision in the next few weeks of who to sign as centre-back. The other choices are Marcus Rojo from Manchester United. He is on the transfer list for 9.5 million. The only stumbling block has been his wages. I did actually have a bid for him accepted, but I don't want to pay him over 100 grand a week, which is what he's asking for. And his agent was a bit of a knob, to be honest. So he might not be the option that we go for. Instead of him, there's someone that is just as good, if not better, that plays for Schalke and is also on the transfer list. He's going to cost a little bit more, but he's going to be a cheaper in terms of wages. Matija Nastasic, one of Serbia's best players, and he's also wanted by Atletico Madrid, so we're going to have some competition from a strong side there. But I think if we offer him a little bit more wages than what he's asking for, I think he might join us. But we'll see how that goes as well. So yeah, either Nastasic, Rojo and Chambers will be joining the club. And Bertrand, of course, as well, if we can get that confirmed. I also have made an offer for Justin Kluivert from Ajax. We've bid 15 million for him, and I think it's going to be accepted. By the report, it looks like it will be. Someone with a lot of potential, and he's going to be challenging Perez for the centre attacking mid starting role. So I'm going to rotate between Kluivert and Perez through Europe and the Premier League and all the cups and everything, and then try and work out who's performing better and who can earn a regular starting position in the team. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think he's going to join. We're going to maybe offer him around 30 grand a week, and he should be a quality player going forward. He's got a lot of potential, and I'm very excited to bring him in. I'm only looking really to sign 3 players, maybe another striker depending on what happens with Joselu and Mitrovic. But yeah, I don't really want to change the squad too much, because this team here has earned themselves 6th place in the Premier League, so it's not really fair to then just chuck them out as soon as we get there. So I want to give this squad a chance in the Europa League and see how far we can go. But with a few improvements to the defence, of course, along the way, which has been our weakest point. If we look at the league table, you can see that we've scored the 5th most goals in the league. So I think our attack and midfield are okay. But as I say, the defence has been not the best. We've conceded more than what we've scored, put it that way. And we have 5th worst defensive record in the league, despite finishing 6th overall. In terms of the under-23s, all the players that will be leaving the club have moved down to the under-18s. And yeah, all 29 players here will be leaving the club. I'm not keen on renewing their contracts. I want to have a clear out of the academy and maybe bring in some young hot prospects to eventually make it to the first team by playing in the youth teams first. So that leaves us with these players here. And in terms of youth players that have been out on loan, Jacob Murphy went out on loan to Burnley but didn't really get a game, so that's disappointing. Chuba Akpom actually got 2nd top goal scorer in the Championship, helping Burton with a 12th place position, defying all odds there. And I might actually call up Akpom into the first team as that 4th striker that I mentioned before. But we'll see how that goes. Rolando Aarons has been out in loan at Lille. He actually had 2 loan spells this year. He went to Leeds originally in the first half of the season, and had a decent run there, averaging a 6.84, and then he went off to France in Ligue 1, which is massive actually. One of the top leagues in the world, and he's getting some games there. 6.78 average at Lille. So we'll look at maybe loaning him out again next year and hopefully helping him reach his potential. But as it stands, we don't play wingers, so there's no real room for him. Victor Hernandez, possibly one for the future, the young Spaniard. He's been out on loan at Gateshead and has developed into a League 2 player at the minute. He's been ever present with 43 appearances and averaging a 7.16. And finally, Alex Gilead has been at Coventry, our feeder club, and hopefully we can send him back there if we do manage to renew his contract this summer. Everyone else, I'm not really going to go through because they're not worth mentioning at the minute. Not great potential. Possibly anyone below Alex Gilead could leave the club at any point, to be honest. Everyone else above Alex Gilead hopefully will make it to the first team at some point in some capacity, maybe even as a backup, but we'll see how that goes. Our transfer budget is 66 million at the minute, and it could potentially be moved up to 86 million, which is doubtful because we'd lose all of our wage budget. So we're probably going to keep it around 60 million, and that hopefully should give us the capacity to sign Bertrand, one of the centre-backs, and Cliver, as I say. So good stuff going into the new season. And in terms of the finances as well that have helped that transfer budget, we got the takeover in November, which then the new chairman took out a bank loan of nearly 100 million. So that definitely helped. We're left with 78 million in the bank as it stands, and that's also been helped by the prize money and TV revenue, of course, from the Premier League. So yeah, we're in a good position at the minute. I'm going to try and hopefully not spend all of the budget if I can, because I do want to invest into the facilities and everything like that. So yeah, that's going to be something I'm going to look to do as well over the summer. But of course, you'll be updated on all of that when we get back for the first episode of Season 2 of the Newcastle Takeover. So hopefully you're excited for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and if you have, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more Football Manager 2018 content. And until next time, peace.